Most people think that stepping into your life purpose or building an online business is all about having a vision, having the clear roadmap, the major milestones, the business plan, or best of all, the perfect strategy and all of the tools lined up before you jump in. But there is a crucial first step that if we miss, we are guaranteed to fail. Believe it or not, it's not just about setting up the website or creating your marketing plan or even the perfect strategy. The foundational component of that first step is less obvious and more subtle, far more nuanced than you would expect. And that's what I want to help you with, because far too many online business gurus are telling you this perfect strategy or this first step or buy my system and you will make 10,000 in the first month. I want to tell you those are lies. And they set you up for feeling like you have failed when it's not your fault. And so in this video, I'm going to dive deep into the nuances of each of those steps, and we'll cover each phase of your progress so that you can step into your purpose and build an online business. I even have a free resource for you that's going to help you identify your blocks so that you can manifest abundance through your life purpose. So make sure you stick around to the end. So if you're anything like me, you started in the hidden seeker phase, consuming all of the knowledge, seeking something we can't quite put our finger on, but we'll know it when we find it. Unfortunately, we get stuck in consumption phase and we consume all of the ancient wisdom and all of the guidance. And we talk to all of the gurus, but there's still that feeling of something's not quite right. I'm still missing something. We have this deep desire to make the world a better place and to pour into others. And yet we consume all of the ancient wisdom and don't know quite how to pour it into others. In fact, a hallmark of this stage is consumption in general, whether it's ancient wisdom, meditation practices, or even less desirable coping mechanisms like wine or alcohol or shopping. In fact, consumption is a hallmark of both the freeze and flight stages of trauma responses. And because we have such a deep desire to do something that matters in the world, but we're not quite able to get ourselves to execute on it, we have to numb out or find ways to tolerate the internal angst that we are feeling. This can lead to the dark night of the soul. We may even identify as having a lot of anxiety or depression. Another hallmark of this phase is isolation. And yes, while isolation can be necessary to create a safe place for us to heal, it also is problematic when we get stuck in this phase and we're no longer able to see value in the others around us and we choose not to people anymore. Now, again, this is the first stage. This is where many of us start. We have that desire to step into our purpose, to create a fulfilling, purpose-driven business, maybe even an online business, and yet we can't quite get ourselves to do that. And so the first stage of building that business is understanding how to work with the body, how to work with the nervous system, and how to release and remove these traumas from our body. And because the highest, most desirable state of our nervous system is connection with others, we need to facilitate that healing through connection with either a therapist, a mentor, a trauma healer, a good friend, a family member, someone who can help model for you a positive healing relationship instead of the dysfunctional relationships we may have experienced prior to this stage. The good news is it's not a lot of cognitive processing. Because the body keeps the score, we get to be present with the body and allow the body to close those stress responses. This is where we can allow ourselves to start to be seen, to be vulnerable, to be authentic, which may have been difficult for us prior to this. And all of this is necessary for you to be able to step into your purpose, because part of what happens when we go into that isolation and healing phase is that we cut ourselves off from the mirrors that allow us to see our value and our worth reflected to us. Understanding your purpose requires you allowing yourself to be seen, shining your light so that people can reflect back to you, hey, you're really good at that. I would love your help with this thing. As we start to allow ourselves to be seen and show up authentically again, we then start to see our confidence rise and our gifts and talents and even intuition start to come alive. There is an inherent wisdom that is living in your body, that if we are disassociated and living in our upper chakras trying to escape our body, then we have a tendency to forego the vast amount of knowledge and wisdom that lives below our head and in our body. In fact, there's something called internal family systems in psychology. And yes, they talk about managing parts or internal child parts, but at the same time, your organs also play a role. Your organs are kind of like other parts, and they hold wisdom for you that can help you see the next right step, or where the block is that's keeping you from moving through life the way you would like to. In the connection with others, in the allowing of the mirrors, in the trauma healing and the presence in the body, we're also increasing our tuition by reestablishing our trust in our relationship with ourselves. The divine lives in your body, and you are the temple of the Holy Spirit. And so for you to be able to access that wisdom requires coming back to the body, learning to trust the signals that you are receiving and follow that guidance. And in our reconnection with ourselves, we are reconnecting with the divine. We are again receiving more gifts, more talents, more intuition, and more reflection of our value and worth, which is strengthening our relationship with the divine. This allows you to rediscover who you were made to be before the world changed you. One of the hallmarks of complex trauma, especially, but trauma in general, is wearing a mask, becoming someone other than who you were made to be to prevent rocking the boat and keeping people happy. Part of your purpose requires that you acknowledge that you are perfectly imperfect for your purpose, no matter what, without exception. Every single aspect of you is designed exactly as it needed to be able to move through life the way God intended for you to. Your purpose requires even your flaws and the embracing of them. And the beautiful part about this first stage of healing and coming back to yourself and understanding who you are and the gifts you have to offer is you get to shine your light. You get to be more bright. You get to be willing to rock the boat and say, "You're welcome," because that gift of a trigger actually will help those others around you heal as well. It is the healing of the trauma and the reconnection with yourself, calming your nervous system and closing those stress responses that is going to allow you to post, to be seen, to offer your gifts and talents to the world. Another critical component of the first stage of stepping into your purpose and building an online business is your messaging. Notice the articulation. This has taken many years of practice to get to the point where I can say this with confidence, full well knowing that the hundreds of people that I have helped, I have seen the evidence of it, and I have zero doubt you will need to perfect your message. Understand who you are, reconnect with yourself, turn your intuition on, find your gifts. That's fun. And also perfect your message. Perfecting your message comes after years and years and years of saying something in many different ways and finding the language that lands with your ideal customer or client. You have a soulmate client family out there. There are people who need your voice. Yes, there are many trauma healers out there. There are many people who speak similar messages as me, but my voice will resonate only with the certain few in my soul family who are meant to come be a part of this journey and help assist in building heaven on earth together. And there is nothing more healing than seeing the evidence of your impact in your soul family and how it elevates that collective. And the last piece in the first stage of building your online business or stepping into your purpose is finding any misalignment, finding any rub, finding any resistance to what it is that you are calling in. Now, here's a really good example. I love connecting with people. I love helping people heal trauma. I have done it for hundreds and hundreds of them, but I also am a projector. I also need space and time for myself, and filling my calendar 8 hours a day with sessions every day would be too much. So certainly I want to call in the abundance and the financial support so that I can continue to do what I know I'm here to do and I'm really good at, but also have enough space and time in my calendar. And so if you're wanting to coach or you're wanting to start an online business, you might find yourself initially saying, I want to fill my calendar. That's the definition of a success. But you may, like me, find over time that there's not enough time in the week for me to be able to have 8 sessions a day. So then there's this juxtaposition between how much do I need to make to live a decent life and how much time and effort can I put in? Where am I truly aligned to the dollar amount, to the amount of clients, to the other purpose-driven work that I want to do out in the world? For me personally, getting mental health and trauma healing into education is the number one priority. And so I need to get a master's degree to do that. And I need to take other courses and things. And so that will require a significant amount of my time dedicated to that. So I have to understand that what I call in has to be fully and completely aligned to my soul's desire and my signature purpose that I'm here to facilitate on earth. Really get familiar with your ask? And is there a rub? Is there a little bit of resistance to that? Is there a part of you that says, yeah, but I don't fully want all of that? Because without that, you will hit a roadblock. You will wonder, why am I not successful? Why am I not filling your calendar? Because there are parts within you. Maybe the 5-year-old learned that she really needs some quiet time. And so that part of you will hold, and this is what we call subconscious programming. It will hold resistance to that. And it will be like stop sign in the road to the thing you are trying to manifest. So this is the very, very, very important first stage of building an online business or stepping into your purpose. Without this, you are guaranteed to fail. Now, the good news is stage 2 and stage 3 are a whole lot easier, but so many people jump into the strategy piece without the inner work piece, and they can't understand, why is this not working for me? I personally believe that the 1% of entrepreneurs that actually succeed will shift and change over time as we step more into purpose-driven work and we have more of an understanding of our mental health and our physical health, because trauma is housed in the body. It's not just a cognitive process, but this is becoming more and more known. And so we are the early adopters, those of us who are stepping into this calling. We are going to start to change trajectory, and we're going to have a lot more than 1% of entrepreneurs who are successful. I also think it's detrimental to repeat that phrase or that statistic. And it makes people feel like, well, I'm just not part of the 1%, so why even try? You are here for a purpose, for a reason. Do not let that statistic change you. Let's also remember, they said that the 4-minute mile was as fast as anyone was ever going to run until someone broke that record. And now it happens all the time. We have to be willing to disrupt the status quo and say, no, I came here to do something different. I know this is possible for me, and I am going to give everything I've got with zero option of quitting until I reach that goal. And with that dedication, you are almost assured success. In fact, the book Outliers, written by Malcolm Gladwell, talks about how some people like Michael Jordan reach success because of their dedication. It takes 10,000 hours to achieve mastery. And if you continue to pursue your purpose with dedication, you will reach mastery. 10,000 hours equates to about 10 years. So have reasonable expectations, be in it for the long game, and know that you will achieve success if you don't quit. You only fail when you quit. So the good news is, like I said, stage 2 and 3 are a whole lot easier. When you reach stage 2, then you can choose the strategy. Once we've aligned and we've removed all of those sticky issues, we shouldn't have any more roadblocks. We should know clearly who we are and what we want to do. Now, granted, in stage 1, you can be trying on different strategies, but just recognize the strategy is not what's going to make you successful. The goal in stage 1 of evaluating strategies is to find alignment, what works for you. Sure, there's a lot of different options. Amazon FBA, an affiliate versus coaching, or being a YouTuber, or maybe just a coach who utilizes Facebook. There's so many different variations or ways that you can try on these different strategies. And again, it's really about finding what is aligned for you and where is the least amount of resistance or stickiness. In stage 2, you'll also be testing out, again, more of your languaging and understanding and perfecting the intricacies of your message and how you deliver it and who's responding and who do you want to speak to. And that is a key important factor here, is understanding who do you want to speak to and speaking to where they are. There's also the difference between pain point marketing and desire marketing. I have tried on both. I don't love pain point marketing. I'm not going to speak to the negative. We're going to speak to the desires, and we're going to create motivation through that. But you have to, again, find what's right for you. Who are you trying to speak to, and where are they? What language do they need to hear from you? You'll also be perfecting your teachings and your trainings and your course offerings in stage 2. You want to understand, again, who am I speaking to? What do they need? What are the sequential steps that they will need to go through to get them from where they are to where I know I can get them to be? Sometimes that will be through master classes, or sometimes through free videos, depending on the medium or the strategy that you choose. Perfecting that in stage 2 will allow you to get to stage 3, where we see the ease and flow come in. Things will happen more quickly. We start to automate. We're utilizing systems. We have built a lot of different foundational pieces, and we have things that are working for us all the time so that our business is always working even when we're not. Certainly, there are a lot more intricacies to each of these stages, but I really want to focus on stage 1 because that is the piece that people aren't talking about, and that is the piece that causes far too many good, beautiful, kind-hearted souls who came here to do something that matters in the world stuck and from success. So I promised you a free resource that will help you identify your blocks, remove your blocks so that you can manifest abundance and step into your purpose. That is a 3-part series that I recorded for you. Check out this video to get started. I love you, my friends. I'll see you on the next one. Namaste.